Hello everyone, welcome to ChessBizer, your wise choice to improve your chess. In today's video, I am going to show you 7 best chess traps in the Ruy Lopez for the black's perspective. So without much delay, we will start the video. So here, the Ruy Lopez arises out of the king's pawn opening, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and now bishop to b5. So since we are gonna see all the traps from the black's perspective, we will simply flip the board here. So here the first trap is commonly called as Noah's Ark Trap. So after this, we are going to kick the bishop with the a6. And after bishop a4, we are going to play d6, entering the Stainy's defense. So after this, most of the white players will attempt to play d4, considering the pin. They will try to, try to attack the pinned piece for the second time, right? So he will play d4. After that, we should cut off the bishop's diagonal. So b5, bishop to b3, and now we can simply grab the pawn on d4 with our knight. So knight takes d4, knight takes d4, and after e takes d4, the white can simply recover the pawn in couple of moves. But if he immediately captures the pawn, then he is falling into the trap. So after queen takes d4, we can hit the queen with the c5. Okay, he may think, okay, I'm having the fork now, f7 is hanging and the rook is hanging. But after queen to d5, we can insert this in between move, that is bishop e6. Now both are defended. So we can throw this check, queen to c6 check, but after bishop to d7, and again the queen has to go to d5, and after this we can simply trap the bishop like this. So this is our first trap. So let's go to the initial position and check the second one. The second one arises out of the Berlin defense. So Berlin defense represents with the knight f6. So after this we have two variations, especially d3 and castles. So first we will check the d3 line. So after d3, and this trap is called a Motimer Trap. So after d3 we are going to play this a rare move, that is knight e7, which hangs our e5 pawn, right? So idea is very simple. After white takes the pawn, both the pieces are hanging. So how do we attack them? We have to bring one of our key piece, that is queen. So we are going to simply open the queen's diagonal for that with the c6, which is gains tempo on the bishop. So after bishop to c4, we can give this check and pick up the knight in the ending. So after knight c3, we can play queen takes e5. So in this position, instead of retreating the bishop, white could trick you back with a knight to c4. If you blindly grab the knight, then you are gone, because it's a smothered checkmate for black. So watch out for this trap. So this is our second trap. So let's go to the third trap. So this is our initial position. So in this position, if instead of d3, if white castles here, this is also one of the main move, we can play knight to g4. This trap is called fishing pole trap. So in this also we are going to see two traps or two variations. So after this, most of the players will try to kick your knight, because this knight annoys them. So h3, h5, we are supporting the knight. So after instead of thinking about the consequences, if he takes the knight for free, if he thinks that it's not actually free, but if he thinks so, then he is already into the trap. So after h takes g4, any knight e1, we can play queen h4. This is the idea. Now we are threatening mate in 1. The mate cannot be stopped. Say for example, if he plays f3, then we can go g3, so cutting off the only escape square of the king, and it's lights out. So he cannot defend further. So let's go back and understand the other variation in the same opening. So instead of knight to g4, he may try the other move, the rook e1 move. In the Ruy Lopez as well as in the Italian opening, rook e1 is one of the key move, right? So in this position, we are going to play bishop to c5. We are hitting the f2, and it's very logical for white to hit the center, because our king is still in the center. We have not castle, so he goes d4, and after that knight takes d4. We are going to take back with he will take back with the knight takes d4, and now we are going to play queen h4. So we are hitting on two squares, h2 as well as f2. If white thinks that he can defend the mate or the h2 pawn with the knight f3, then again he is gone, because after knight f3 we can hit on f2 with the check. After king h1, white is completely missed our pattern, that is queen g1 check, the unbelievable queen sacrifice. whether white takes with a knight or rook, it doesn't matter, because in the end it is going to be the beautiful smothered checkmate like this, knight f2. So this is our third trap. So let's check the last two traps for black. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to b5, the Ruy Lopez. So here we are going to play this rare continuation move, that is bishop to b4. So after this, white will definitely think you are a very beginner player, so he will hit your bishop with c3. So after bishop a5, he will simply play bishop takes c6, and after d takes c6, he is going to take the pawn which is not defended on e5. So here we are going to hit the knight with a queen e7, and after d4, natural looking move, white is simply the position is very good for white here in this position, but we are going to play this weakening move, that is f6. So it creates a weakness on the light square, so he will definitely throw this check on the h5 square with the queen, and after g6 blocking the check, he will grab it, and here we are going to start our trap. So queen takes e4 check, so the check has to be black, so bishop e3. So here there is g2 is hanging, but still we can play the another move, that is bishop to g4. In this position, if white grabs the rook, then we can simply win the queen like this, and if white takes our bishop, which is there on the other side of the board undefended, we can simply take on g2, threatening the rook. The rook has to go to f1, and after queen f3, again threatening mate in 1, and after king to d2, queen check, king c1, queen takes f1 check, and after king to c2, and now queen to d1 is a checkmate. So another trap is also there in this variation, so let's go back and understand that also. So instead of the bishop to b4, we are going to play the bird's opening, that is knight to d4. So in this position, if white grabs the pawn, then the bishop is hanging, so he cannot do that, so the bishop has to go to a4. So from here we can play bishop to c5, and as usual, if white is greedy, if he takes the e5 pawn, then again we are going to follow our same fashion with the queen e7. So and now if he defends with the f4, again the trap is set, so f6, the same check can be given, queen h5 check, but now we can play our thematic move, that is g6, to give up our pawn. So after knight takes g6, so multiple things are hit, but no problem, we can simply take on e4 check. So and after king to d1, there is a mate in e2 square, but the thing is the queen is defending, so for that we can simply take on g6. So we are trying to drive the queen away from this diagonal. If he immediately takes the bishop, then there is a mate in 1, so that cannot be possible. So if he thinks okay, he can defend with the queen to g4, then we can simply play knight h6, and there is no defense. In case in any point of time, if white inserts this move, you simply take it and then you take the queen, so it's a complete winning position for black. So in case if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are watching the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel and press the bell icon, and let me know your ideas, thoughts in the comment section below. So this is Chess Visor, as usual, your wise choice to improve your chess.